Hello and welcome to Bell Stitches Pirates Flosstube number 16, I believe. It's May the, 7th, Saturday, and I'm going to try to get this out really fast. There's not going to be much editing. It's pretty much, if there's multiple clips, they'll be spliced together, and that's about it. But I have a short pause here today to go over my very sparse amount of stitching that I have gotten done in the last couple of weeks. I am on a show and we open on the 22nd. So we're in the phase of doing alterations, and I just sent off 7 of the alterations that I have, and I have the rest of them are in varying stages. Basically, I try to do all the pressing, all the cutting for multiple pieces all at the same time, because my space, I didn't get it tidied up and reorganized to work a big costume job with multiple stations going. So I'm making do, but that means that my pressing happens where my sewing is, so I have to put the machine away to pull out the pressing, and the cutting happens basically in the same space. So the long and short of it is, it's easier to do all the pressing for 2 or 3 items, or all the cutting or all the sewing, and then kind of rotate through. So I have 4 of the remaining 5 items kind of in varying stages of completion, and the 5th item's practically a rebuild. So but things are coming along. It just means that I have very little time for stitching. Add to that, the day job had some big deadlines that we were dealing with, and so I've ended up working later than normal a couple of days, which has affected things. I've had some doctor's appointments and various things that have cut into my sewing time, which then cuts into my stitching time. So the sum total of my stitching has been working on Shannon Christine's 2020 Christmas ornament sale. And I basically, there was some odds and ends of the ornaments down here that I needed to finish. And then I've done have a cup of, and it'll say cheer and has some odds and ends, or it has actually a cup that goes in here. So that is the sum total of my stitching over the last few weeks. I have done some diamond painting on the nights when focusing even on stitching just wasn't going to happen. My husband, for our anniversary, gave me a gift certificate to a diamond painting site, and was like super excited to have me start one of them when the first one came in. So I got started on that, and he's been very good about not jostling me, even more so than when I'm stitching and he wants to move stuff. If I have a bag of drills in my hand, or the tray with drills in it, he's like, "Can I touch you? I need to go to bed now. Can I say good night, or am I gonna make you spill everything?" And the answer is, give me a second and you won't spill anything. But he has been enjoying watching it come to life, and he likes the texture of the drills, which is fun. The other thing that hopefully I'll manage to get some time to actually read is my issue of the Threads magazine. I'm very curious. It says there's an article in here on fitting pants solo, and the idea of doing fittings on yourself has always baffled me, so I'm curious to see what kinds of tips that they may have that can help. As far as haul, I have, aside from my magazine coming in, the only haul I've gotten has been diamond painting related. I picked up some, I was looking for a couple of items, and one of the kits that I have coming in, somebody mentioned that they were thinking about replacing some of the decorative bits with pearls, so that sent me down a tiny rabbit hole, looking for diamond drills in the shape of pearls, which I did find. I got a 6-placer that I'm gonna try because I'm getting pretty decent with the 4-placer, so I thought I'd try the 6-placer. And then I picked up glow in the dark white AB glow in the dark, so we'll test those out. I got the white pearls, and then because I don't have the painting yet, or the kit yet to see, I also got some silver and gold pearls. That's not doing. And then, because the one thing my husband has been not necessarily complaining about, but discussing or commenting on, is I don't have a real good system for trash drills. So they are kind of puddling up on the little shelf next to our couch, and he's made a couple comments about needing a place to put those. And so the same place that had pearls had little just a little tiny bowl. Feels like it's acrylic, or sounds like it's acrylic. So I'm gonna put the, figured since I was getting, the pearls and the glow in the dark drills, that I might as well grab a couple of those. So I'll have one in my craft room, and one besides the couch, which will make him happy. He's Mr. Everything must be put away and tidy, and of course, being a crafter, everything needs to be out until it makes me crazy, and then I'm like, tidy it all up and put it away. But if I'm working on it, it needs to stay out, or I forget that I'm working on it and where I'm at. So anyway, that is my very short update. The only other thing that I've been doing is I have been putting together a basic game plan for how to tackle and maybe make my craft room a little more conducive to working in. And as part of that research, I stumbled across these bins at Hobby Lobby. And the great thing about them is, I have one that I've taken all the labels off. The drawer comes completely out, which means that you can rearrange them when they're all put together, and then it's got these slides and slots on the sides, but then also on the top and the bottom. I don't know if you, yeah, you can see it better there. So you can make them into a stack. So I started out, I just did a handful for my collection of washi tape. I did not realize I had this much washi tape, but I was doing some cleaning and started finding more and more of it. And so the first couple I picked up, I put together and ended up starting out putting them as washi tape. And they just sit really nicely on a table when they're all connected together. And so now I am creating kind of a little wall of trays or of bins. And as I start cleaning and finding various small notions, I'm starting to label bins and start putting notions in, which has been very useful for this alterations job for this play, because as I'm taking stuff off, I've labeled a bin, one of the bins for alteration bits and bobs. And so I put the various, you know, I've collected the safety pins that were marking where the alterations were supposed to go. I was doing a lot of jacket sleeves, so I made a post-it note that had the placement of the buttons on the jacket sleeve as well as the little flap that happens so that I could recreate it. And then one of the pieces, they gave me a button that they want put on once I do the alteration. And so, you know, I'm just collecting it and keeping it all in there. And I can, because it's removable, I can take it around with me to, say, the couch if I'm doing a lot of ripping things open. I'll do that out on the couch with my husband. And so any pieces that need to go back in, I have I have the bin and I just drop them in the bin. And so I'm really liking it, and I suspect that at some point I will have a lot more than my current 25. I have 25 of these bins. I picked up about a dozen in one trip, and I started out with the 4, and then I picked up about a dozen, and then the next trip, basically, I didn't quite clear out the store each time I've gone, but every couple of weeks I've stopped by the Harbor Freight. I think I said Hobby Lobby earlier, and it's not, it's Harbor Freight. And just, you know, check to see. They're $3 a bin, so they're really inexpensive, but they're very sturdy, and they have each of them has a screw hole. So when we're no longer renting, when we have our place and I'm making a permanent craft room craft setup, then the options there, if I don't want it sitting on the end of, say, my cutting table, I could put 3 or 4 screws into the wall and hang the whole contraption, whatever size, whatever number of bins, onto the wall, and have them up off the space but still accessible. So they're very versatile, and so far I am really enjoying having them available. So that's what I have been up to the last couple of weeks, and now I'm going to get back to doing these alterations. This maze is shaping up to be very different from my previous maze, in that normally I would be actively doing Mania, where with some new starts and working on old May starts, trying to see how many I could finish, as well as just making some progress. And aside from not hardly touching anything, I am hoping that I will be able to do some, aside from getting some work done on cross stitch, once we get past our opening, my focus is going to be on doing finishes. And try to get some of my finishes that are just sitting in bins completed and ready to be displayed. So that is what has been going on for me, and what my plans are for the next couple of weeks, which is finish these alterations, try to hopefully get a little more stitching time in, get this show opened, and from there hopefully get back to a better routine of cross stitch. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. If you're in the US or in a country that is celebrating Mother's Day this weekend. And I want to remind everyone that even if you are not biologically a mother, if you provide care and support for a child in your life, in your circle, you're an honorary mother. You provide that emotional and caring that children need in their lives. And therefore, this weekend is also a celebration of you and your contributions to raising the next generation to be strong, well-grounded human beings. And thank you for doing that. With that, have a great weekend, and I'll see you hopefully in a couple of weeks.